Although tall fescue is originally from Europe, it has established itself as the most widely grown cool season perennial grass in the U.S. It's a versatile plant used for forage, turf, and erosion control, and can tolerate many extremes in weather and management.
Tall fescue is a relatively easy plant to establish, has a very long growing season, will tolerate more abuse than any grass that I've worked with.
In the past, the performance of animals on tall fescue has been inconsistent. This is due to an internal fungus, referred to as an endophyte, found in over 85% of the tall fescue in the eastern U.S. Endophyte-free varieties provide excellent animal performance, but have not been as persistent as desired in some climates. However, in recent years, researchers have inserted a beneficial endophyte, called novel, in some fescue varieties. Novel endophyte varieties have provided excellent animal performance and have persisted well.
I think this is a situation where we may be able to have the best of both worlds. We can still have a plant that has all those desirable characteristics that tall fescue has always shown, but a plant that will give us good animal performance.
Soil fertility is important, and the most reliable way to determine the amount of lime and/or fertilizer needed is with a soil test. The best time to seed tall fescue is late summer through early fall. Spring seedings can be successful but are more susceptible to summer drought and weed competition. In addition, good seedbed preparation and seed placement are especially important for successful establishment.
As with any forage crop, establishment is a critical period for tall fescue. We typically plant tall fescue at a rate of about 15 to 20 pounds per acre, particularly if it's drill seeded.
Tall fescue can be established in a variety of ways, from no-till to prepared seed bed. Once it does get established, it's extremely persistent. It can certainly weaken, it can die, but by and large, tall fescue is a very thick, competitive grass.
It is important that fields be managed properly for best quality and yield. Fescue tolerates close, continuous grazing, but yield and regrowth rate is improved when rotational grazing is used.
We might give them about 2 or 3 acres at a time and let them eat it for a day or two, and then we'll move the fence and give them a little bit more. And that way we can control how much of it they eat, and plus it gets us full utilization of it for maybe over a 6 to 8 week period there leading up to our breeding season.
Generally, when we're grazing tall fescue, we don't want to graze it closer than about 3 to 4 inches. Ideally, rotate animals on and off of the pasture. If it's cut for hay, usually you can get 2 cuttings in most areas where tall fescue is grown.
A huge expense for livestock producers is winter feed costs. One way to lower these costs is to stockpile forages. Tall fescue is especially well suited to being stockpiled. Therefore, it is an excellent grass for late fall and winter grazing, and can be an effective way to reduce livestock wintering costs.
The best thing about fescue is your stockpiling in the fall. That's the number one thing that we use it for. Anywhere from late November on through January, it's fantastic. It's nothing that will put the weight on calves and cattle any better than the stockpile fescue.
We'll exclude the cattle from that area until November or December or even later. And by that time, both the quantity and the quality of the fescue will be at its peak, and we can utilize that for grazing during the late fall and winter. That way we can extend our grazing season. In some years, or years when we've had decent moisture in the summertime, we've been able to carry a group of cattle like these all the way through the winter on stockpile fescue.
It represents an excellent plant in states where it'll grow well to stockpile and to use that as your last feed source, and that will extend the grazing season and minimize the amount of hay or silage required to get us through the winter.
Tall fescue has many desirable attributes. That's why it continues to be one of the most important cool season grasses in the United States and provides the primary ground cover on over 35 million acres.
It's a good yielder, and it has good forage quality. So all of those are points that are valuable to livestock producers and it makes tall fescue a very useful crop in many parts of the United States.
For more information on the science and management of tall fescue, contact the Oregon Tall Fescue Commission, or you can also put this disc into your computer to access additional resources. To get specific information about this forage crop in your state, visit the USDA website. The concepts expressed in this video are based upon the book Southern Forages.